Good day, lords and ladies, and welcome back to Monster Hunter Wilds. So today we are here with another build guide, and we are talking specifically about what's coming towards the end of April, which is Arch-Tempered Rey Dau. And while you and I are going to tackle him solo, it seems that with the Arch-Tempereds making their comeback, it's well past time for me to return to my roots a little bit and present a build that might just save the entire run, if you should feel so inclined and have the resources to present it. So today, we're talking about a support build. Let's have a talk with Gemma really fast. So if we look at our equipment here, the first thing you are going to notice is that our primary is going to be the bow for the support set, because the bow generally has very low animation commitment, and generally you're not going to be right in the middle of the action in case somebody needs help. With, of course, keeping the insect glaive on hand for mounting and whatever other shenanigans might be necessary, again in the capacity of support. For our set here, we are using the Blango Helm, the Beta, the Sild Coat Alpha, the Battle Van Braces Alpha, the Damascus Coil Alpha, and the Doshagama Greaves Beta with the Blessing Talisman. And then if we tab over to our gems, you can see exactly how we're slotting this. We're going with a Force Shot Jewel to just boost the power of normal arrows, because we are a more passive and measured build where we don't want to be hardcore aggro on the monster. We want to have our hands free to heal as necessary, and we're going with 2 critical jewels to get the crit eye. On our insect glaive, we have double attack and handicraft, but I don't expect that there is going to be terribly much call to use the insect glaive for a build like this. And then going down the list, you can see exactly how we have finagled this cute little build altogether. As you can see, what that amounts to, the key features of the classical support set are the level 5 wide range and the level 3 speed eating and free meal. We are lucky with this set. We have also been able to slot for earplugs, so that, again, if somebody needs help, a monster roar is not going to stop us from intervening. Recovery Up gives better heals to the entire party, and we were able to squeak in Part Breaker so that we don't feel completely sidelined. So, the other thing to know before I take us out on our adventure here is that we are cheating on our game. This is actually my private game because I actually have armor spheres on the game that I'm playing with Bob, so we ducked over here so that we could talk about this build before the title update, because I just don't have the armor spheres on our game. So the other thing we need to talk about is the meal that we are eating for this set. So for a support set, we are going to go with vegetables as our main ingredient. We are going to take the Kunafa cheese, which is effectively Divine Blessing cheese, and for our finishing touches, we're going to go with Eastern Honey. Again, that is going to increase the amount of health recovered as we are healing. We will need to test if that applies to our teammates as we embark on our very first multiplayer adventure of Monster Hunter Wilds. And of course, finally, because this is a support set, we need to talk about this. I'll load our generic set here for a second. The main things that you need to think about as a support player are not just, of course, having your potions and mega potions, but nullberries, antidotes, and jerky to counteract those debuffs. You'll want Armor Skin and Demon Drug to buff the entire team. You'll want to use these once you arrive at the fight, or once your team is fully assembled. And of course, you're going to want God Bug Essence, Blue Mushrooms, Herbs, and Honey to make more heals so that you don't have to leave in the middle of the hunt. Other things that fall into the support category that you should have on hand are Lure Pods, if you need to move the monster out of a terrible place, dung pods to CC the area so that you can hunt in peace and sanity, and flash pods to deal with the monster. And of course, finally, depending on the intensity of the hunt, keeping a Farcaster with you in case you need to duck out of the hunt in an emergency to restock your items is vital. You will want to be able to get out of there fast if you happen to need to. On that note, let's attempt to find ourselves a worthy multiplayer hunt, yes? Okay, so we have for ourselves a tempered Arkfeld, which I imagine should present enough of a demonstration here of our very first support set. And again, keeping in mind that this support set is being prepared in specific preparation for the Arch-Tempereds returning to the forefront of our hunting experience. Of course, you and I will be trying it solo, but if you are trying it in multiplayer, having a support set on hand is, if you happen to have the resources to do it, a good healer will very often mean the difference between success and failure in a hunt. Okay, so here we are at the hunt. Already we've got people that are hurt. And to open the fight, the first things we are going to do is use our buffs for the team. And then get started here. Now, being a wide-range player, by and large, you are going to be spending a whole bunch of time focused out on what your team is doing. We do have a mount. Very nice. Now, this is my usual PSA to my fellow bowmans. Please, for the love of all that is holy, be considerate about the wounds on this monster. Okay, I'm gonna try for this blue wound. For the knockdown. Okay, we're all good. So we're going to move on here, and we're going to make sure that we get to our crafting list and restock what we used. Don't like being under her when I'm dealing with crap here. Now, what we're keeping an eye out here, because Arkveld is a dragon beastie, you are watching for the dragon symbol by your teammate, as well as what their health status is, and making sure that you don't just heal them, but you get rid of their debuff. We do have the debuff to cleanse. I suspect that the sword and shield is also doing healing things, which is not the worst thing that's ever happened, to be 100% honest. Okay, and now at this point, because there are infinite numbers of things that you need to keep in mind. Oh, somebody did get that with tempered wound. Okay. Okay, she's done at this point. And this is where we capture the monster. It feels good to return to my roots.
Let's get to it. Good to have you.
A supply shipment's coming. Hope you find
Let's get to it.
Okay. Well, we're gonna follow the sword and shield out to wherever it is taking us. I think we're going to Arkveld first. Now, important to note, when you're doing support, is that your Demon Dragon armor skin are actually persistent, but if you are actively answering SOS calls, as a support player, you are going to need to expend those every time. So that is something to keep in mind, that even though you are buffed, your teammates may not be. So once we've all assembled up the monster, we are going to repeat this process. Okay. Everybody is here, so we're going to do the same deal. We're going to buff the entire team. And then we are going to get right into it.
That helped. Thanks.
That helped.
Thanks. That helped. Nice.
And of course, this is great for me because we have an insect blade here who can tackle some of the mounting stuff that I would normally be doing on a DPS insect blade set. Now, in regards to the bow that I am using, because I think that bears mentioning, this is an archon bow that is crafted with poison parts, because that combination is what gives us access to pierce coating. And between you and me, pierce coating was honestly like the best part of the bow experience in Rise. Like, I loved my piercing bows. Pyre Raknakadaki, I think, is what I played with pretty much the whole time. So, we are taking advantage of that, and we are going to, again, bows. If you do not need the wound, do not take the wound. But if there is a tempered wound, the tempered wound pop is worth a knockdown for the critter. And if you're in my position, where I'm kind of set back away from things, and I can make the decision to prime my focus strike for this, it is always going to be worth it to take the knockdown, particularly because that was on her back, and that is going to be harder to reach for a lot of the team members. I think I just broke the tail with the Dragon Piercer. That's amazing. So, there is definitely a rhythm I love bow for support because I'm not intimately involved in the very middle of the fight,
That helps.
which lets me step back when I need to and apply heals and buffs as necessary. Like, this is a pretty dangerous attack. She is very often going to get at least one person with that. I should know because usually I am that one person. And once the team is put back together again, that is when you can resume the fight. And so, like, I think bow is such a good companion to a full support set because it is so nice. Oh, I did forget the tail, didn't I? It doesn't matter. I'm not going to interrupt the fight with it. So yes, I do love my pierce bows. Like, they are one of the highlights of Rise for me, was having the piercing ammo. Somebody got that. So they're going to take advantage of the down. I am going to, again, I am prioritizing the well-being of the team, so instead of focusing on the down, I'm patching up the team in order to progress. Oh, she's done. That was quite dangerous. Okay. Carry on. We're going to make another shock trap for our Rethian.
Make sure to grab anything a monster leaves behind.
Am I here? I am just here. She's just napping. Okay, that is actually going to be kind of troublesome. How do we want to do this, boys? Okay. And so on Rathian, our antidotes are going to come into play. Remember those antidotes that I mentioned in the item loadout that you need? Yes, this is where the antidotes come into play. And the longsword is on fire, so we're gonna just put him out. That is unlucky on that poison weapon. Okay, so speaking of administrative tasks, for Rathian, you are going to pretty much disable Rathian if you break her wings. That is going to impair her ability to fuck with the team a pretty significant amount. So, one of the things that you can do is, of course, to break the wings for the team. Because that is going to just make her overall... It's a little twisted, I'll be honest. I don't love it. Like, it's like, yes, it helps with the team, and this entire conversation is about getting ready for Arch-Tempered Rey Dau. But it... Oh, she's gone. Okay. Can I get in here in time?
We set a trap.
And of course, there's always the exciting detail of being a capture hunter with randoms who might not be on the same page. So there you have it. Brief overview of what a support setup looks like in practice in a hunt. Okay, lords and ladies, so there you have it. That is my first purely support build of Monster Hunter Wilds, because towards the end of April, the Arch-Temperates are coming back. And if you are multiplayer-minded and have the means, a good healer is often the difference between success and failure on a hunt. Ask me how I know. So, if you feel so inspired, this is the setup that I would recommend to you so that you can best support the DPS team while they do most of the damage. It requires a lot of attention to detail and attention to the HUD to make sure that you are reacting appropriately to the needs of the team at all times, and this is why I highly recommend Bow for the job. I know traditionally this is the wheelhouse of Sword and Shield, but the Bow is so good for its low animation commitment and the high probability that you are not in the middle of the action when you need to take action to save someone. So Bow is great for a wide range set. So kind of a two for the price of one. My first Bow set and my first support set, because the Arch-Temperates are coming. In the meantime, I hope that you have enjoyed another brief build guide that's a little bit different from what I normally put out, because this one is entirely multiplayer minded. If you did, feel free to like the video. As always, I do appreciate it, and I thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.